King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Australian psychedelic rock band formed in 2010.
17 studio albums in the span of 9 years.
One of my all-time favorite bands.
One of the most prolific bands of the 21st century.
King Gizzard is my favorite rock band.
All I know before going into this is that these 3 albums connected and that Han Taiyumi is a recurring character.
Can you explain the Gizzverse to me?
When you first listen to Gizzard, it's very easy to kind of get lost in the melodies and the sounds and sort of the atmosphere of the music and not really pay attention to what they're actually singing about. Enter the Gizzverse.
So the Gizzverse is all over the place.
To me, the Gizzverse connects all the albums more thematically than it does literally.
The Gizzverse starts with Eyes Like the Sky. It tells the literal history of America in the Gizzverse, and there we move on to Float Along, Fill Your Lung.
And I feel like Float Along, Fill Your Lungs is placed like early in the movement from where there's peace in the universe.
The addition of electric instruments puts us in the present, whenever that is for this universe. Jump right into KG. This album heavily deals with the fall of humanity and the rise of the cyborg race through the expanded technology of artificial intelligence. There's a lot about the decline of humanity, the fall of humanity, the rise of technology. LW, expanding upon the themes instilled in KG, adding themes of a coming apocalypse.
At this point, the theories that I had were kind of not lining up together, so I had to make a choice between which I was going to focus on, and I decided to focus on the one Brendan was explaining, as it was a more simplified version of the Gizzverse, and it was easy to wrap my head around.
On the album I'm in Your Mind Fuzz, Satan starts turning ordinary people bad. Several of these beings under Satan's control meet together and perform a ritual. What they do is they take their gamma knives, this is on the album Nonagon Infinity, they stab them in the ground, and this starts the apocalypse.
The world is collapsing in on itself, and the planet's inhabitants try to find sanctuary.
There's a lot of little stories about what's actually going on during this time period. For example, the events that take place on it.
Infest the rat's nest.
There's a deadly superbug wiping out the non-cyborg population. This flying microtonal banana depicts the post-apocalyptic Earth.
So while all this is going on, we meet one young man who tries to escape all the chaos. As a cyborg, he names himself Han Taiyumi.
Han Taiyumi is like the main character that flows through most of the albums as well. He's on the album cover of Fishing for Fishies, he's talked about in Murder of the Universe.
Han Taiyumi is a character, and he makes appearances on several different albums.
Ends at the Murder of the Universe.
He wants to vomit, and he wants to die. So what he does, he builds a soy protein mutt machine in hopes that it'll cause him to vomit and cause him to die. He starts vomiting, so he can't stop vomiting, enough to cover the entire universe. After the apocalypse is over, a new world is born.
Sketches of Brunswick East. Han Taiyumi, now a god, creates a new world on Earth starting from scratch, telling the new inhabitants to remember their past, and so starts up the cycle again, leading back to the beginning. It starts with the human race underdeveloped. It shows their rise and then ultimate fall to technology, and then at the very end it shows the human race starting right back at the beginning, and you can only assume that the same thing is going to happen again.
At this point, I'd be reluctant to say that we're even halfway done with this story.
At this point, I could successfully say that I had done what I set out to do with this project and gathered an understanding of the Gizzverse just through word of mouth. You can see here how I've laid out the Gizzverse from what I've learnt from these people, and I'm definitely very interested in doing my own research now into it and making a more comprehensive understanding because I'm very much invested now.